First at 11, a St. Johns County family's push for change after their son's death hit the governor's desk this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Crawford. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed Trenton's Law, named after a Creekside High School graduate who was killed in a crash on Old St. Augustine Road back in 2023. Our Zach Wilcox joins us live from the scene of that crash now. And Zach, Trenton's Law increases the penalties for repeat offenders of vehicular homicide and DUI manslaughter.
Yeah, that's right, Heather. And, Trenton Stewart is remembered by this marker that's at the scene of the crash 2 years after his death. And now he will be remembered in Florida's law. He was killed in a wrong-way crash where that driver had already served time in prison for vehicular homicide for a different vehicular homicide. So now it will double the penalty for repeat offenders.
You'd like to think that you're not going to have a need for Trenton's Law very often, but unfortunately there will be a need.
In May of 2023, Mandy and Robert Stewart found out their son, Trenton, was hit and killed by a wrong-way driver going more than 100 miles an hour on Old St. Augustine Road. A few days later, they learned that driver, Ariel Monteagudo, had already spent 10 years behind bars for a vehicular homicide when he killed 15-year-old Christina Ramos.
And then realized it was probably the worst it could be.
The Stewarts got in touch with Ramos's aunt, Margarita Oxenreiter, who said she didn't even know Monteagudo was out of prison.
Really, they let him out, he's going to do it all over again. It's like he hasn't learned from the first mistake.
The Stewarts were even more surprised to learn Florida laws didn't have any increased penalties for repeat offenders of vehicular homicide.
Losing him was the hardest part, but then learning that you only have an opportunity to fight for up to 15 years was even more challenging for us.
Monteagudo was ultimately sentenced to 12 years, so Stewart's parents went to work to change the law before the same thing happened to anyone else. They enlisted the help of local Florida State House Representative Kim Kendall to draft a bill.
Everybody unanimously agreed. They all said this was just an area we missed to just have some positive results of a horrific situation.
Trenton's Law will make repeat offenses of vehicular homicide and DUI manslaughter first-degree felonies, carrying up to 30 years behind bars.
Hopefully, again, like we said, it's never used, but if it is, he's there and named to make sure that people are held accountable.
Now, Trenton's Law will take effect in October, and it won't impact Monteagudo's sentence. However, in his sentencing, he was also revoked his license for the rest of his life. On the South Side, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.